Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to everyone from around the world. My name is Daryl, and I'll be your host this afternoon. It is the top of the hour, and we have lots to get through, so I think let's get going. Welcome to today's webinar titled How Digitization Improves Operational Excellence and Time to Value. This is the 7th installment of our webinar series, and so far we've had great feedback from you, so thank you all. We have shown you an MES solution running smoothly in the cloud and the associated benefits. We've shown you the do's and don'ts of model predictive control, as well as how to stabilize your plant and run it optimally within the APC suite. Our APM team have shown you the possibilities and benefits of predictive and prescriptive maintenance technologies. They have also shown us how, by using multivariable analysis and artificial intelligence, you can predict and intervene in time to ensure product consistency and quality. Last week, our AH colleagues had a great session on some of the latest trends in automation. Please remember, if you have missed any of these sessions that tickle your fancy, you can still watch the recordings, and don't forget to register for the up and coming events too. Next week's webinar will be the same time, same place, and it will be all on condition monitoring. Next slide, please, Wilhelm. A quick introduction to the 4Sight Group's operational technology cluster. This is one of the 3 clusters that form the 4Sight Group. The IT, OT, and business enterprise clusters are unique in their offering, and yet all vital to the complete organizational digital transformation strategy required to take businesses into this new era. This holistic approach to your digital enhancement journey is what derives maximum value. If you look on the right of the slide, you will see this journey has 4 aspects: data, people, technology, and new business models. All are vitally important, and you must realize that they are not mutually exclusive from one another. If you look on the far left of the slide, we have listed the 3 organizations within the cluster. AH Technologies, their expertise fall in the industrial automation arena. Then there's BluESP, looking at asset optimization. How do we take your data and make it useful? Then SET, specialize in value chain simulation and constraint analysis. This allows you to see where best to invest to get more throughput, as well as looking at planning and scheduling scenarios. What the center of this slide tries to depict is the levels and transformation of raw data into information, knowledge, wisdom, and business intelligence as we try to extract business value. At the bottom is typically the realm of automation, and H are certified alliance partners for the big OEM automation companies, so they can work on most systems that you have already invested in, so you don't want to rip and replace. This is critical foundation and where the real world interfaces with the digital world. Then moving up, BlueSP is an integration service provider for AspenTech. We have a whole bunch of software solutions to take the data and add value to it via things like MES, historians, advanced process control, machine learning, process simulation. The information and knowledge layers typically use historical and real-time data to understand current state. Then as we move up to the wisdom and intelligence layers, we start to use the data to look and plan for the future, whether it be in what if scenario planning or predicting the future state. So there are no surprises and you're able to make better business decisions. During the webinar series, we have looked into the different solutions and the value they bring. So I don't want to go into much detail today on all the different blocks you see in front of you. But something this slide does depict is how many different systems can be found in a typical manufacturing or mining organization. And this is just some of the OT systems, and this is just a small percentage of all your business systems. And this slide also shows examples of the various users within the organization on the left-hand side, and how their needs differ in terms of type, speed, frequency, format of the data from all of these systems, which is kind of the crux of today's session. Next slide. Okay, so as more and more things get connected to this digital world, as we gather more and more data, we have more and more tools and systems. We are creating a spider web of information. These devices, tools, data, and systems all have their value in their own right, But how do we get our heads out of the sand and look at our operations from a holistic view? How do we see not only the OT information as per the previous slide, but key performance, financial, environmental, project, personnel, health, safety, and environmental data in a place and make sense of it all? Not only that, if we see something in the data, how do we make sure that an action can be generated and tracked to its completion? To answer these questions and more, we have assembled an esteemed panel of presenters for today. A bit about me. I graduated from WITS with a bachelor's degree in engineering. I have over 20 years experience in the mining and manufacturing industry, where I've been involved in electrical, automation, and digitalization projects and solutions. And I can attest that one of the biggest challenges facing customers is breaking down the information silos, so I truly see the value in today's topic. Then we have Wilhelm Swart. He's the MD of BluESP. He's the product of the University of Stellenbosch. He has had various high-level roles in the automation industry in South Africa. He has worked for large OEM companies and has been responsible for mining customers throughout Africa and the Middle East. So he comes with a wealth of worldly knowledge and experience. We also have Ruan Small on the line. He's our local enterprise insight subject matter expert with a BSc honors degree in computer science and IT from the University of Northwest. And last but not least, allow me to introduce our esteemed guest from AspenTech all the way from Houston. Jason, I know it's early in the morning. Welcome. Jason Valuel is the Senior Product Marketing Manager. Jason is a results-driven and strategic marketing leader with over 15 years of experience providing solutions in the consumer, oil and gas, and technology industries. In his current role, he is focused on consumer life cycle marketing that harnesses the power of our connected offering to deliver exceptional value. Just some housekeeping before we get going. Everyone will be on mute, so if you have any questions, please write them in the comment section and we will attempt to answer them at the end of today's session. Please take the opportunity to tap into this vast bucket of experience and ask away. Also remember that this session is being recorded. We will be jumping between presentation mode as well as a live demo sitting in the cloud, so enjoy. And with that, I'll pass you over to the capable hands of Wilhelm, Jason, and Ruan. Over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Daryl, and thanks for that great introductory, and thanks Jason for being able to join us quite early from America. And great to have you on the call today. So we've got quite a nice, exciting agenda planned for today. So we're going to go through the key themes of this. So talk about first, how do we link to various data sources? How do we bring analysis to those data sources? Then we're going to think, how do you basically visualize and use that visualization for collaboration? So what do we do? Look at it, what the tools are for that. And then, the key topic is also how do you automate the workflow and bring that change management to the audience that you need to do to really bring that value to the industrial facilities. We're going to look at, the various off-the-shelf templates that's available that makes the engineering very, very fast. So Jason will take us through that as well, and also talk about how do you deploy this, how fast, and do you do it like fully as a software as a service, or hybrid, or basically full on-premise, and we're going to look at the architectures associated with that as well. So quite a jam-packed session that we are going to focus on. So the technology set that we're focusing on is Aspen Enterprise Insight, and I'm going to just quickly spend a bit of time just to position it. So as you know from AspenTech, we really focus on three core solution sets. So the one set is, a set of software that we use to assimilate, design, construct, and manage and cost new facilities to its utmost. So if you had to build a new facility, you want to make sure that it's built most sustainable, most optimum, and there's a whole set of software associated with that. Then there's a whole set of software that we use to run and operate plants and industrial facilities better and faster. And then there's another set, our asset performance set, which is really much focused on how do we make it run longer. So if I drill down a little while, really what we're trying to do with these sets of software, we're trying to bring value to clients, to industrial clients. So really, we're trying to run the workforce safer, and I'm showing some values here of, but what we can provide using technologies from the key vendors that we represent, from AspenTech, but also from the others that some of the automation or the simulation teams basically represent. So yeah, so make operations much safer, make it greener, try and reduce or reduce the energy substantially, and make it more sustainable. For every a megawatt of electricity that you save, you save a ton of CO2 gas as well. So so those type of things. Make it run longer and more reliable. So make sure that your equipment doesn't fail. We've covered a lot of topics about how do you predicting a failure 6 weeks in advance, and what do you do with that, and to prevent, and how to schedule your maintenance better and also faster. Like today we're going to talk a lot about how do we bring value and reports and information fast to the user. So fast engineering, we talked about it last week as well in standards, but also how do we reduce the maintenance costs, how do we push the yields up 3 to 4% using advanced process control in an industrial facility. That has huge gains, and also quite a long drive on bringing the OEE up. So in some of the industrial processes that we're working in mining, there's still quite an opportunity for OEE improvement. So we do it with all these tools under the engineering suite, or under the the operate suite, or the manufacturing and supply chain suite. I'm not going to go through that. Daryl went through that. Or the asset performance management suite. But then these are all supported by a very unique offer set, which is called Aspen Enterprise Insight, which really, if we don't basically empower the workforce, the management, the various work groups with this information, very, very fast in their hands at all times, and linking data from various sources together, you cannot, unleash all that potential for the clients. And that's what we're basically going to be focusing on. So if we look at, what is the secret sauce, and and we'll talk a bit further about that, is from the right, firstly, the ability to link to various data sources, and Jason will next tell us a little bit about what is those data sources. So we link to various environments, not just automation, also financial, also ERP systems. The next thing is the ability to basically do data analytics on the data, so bring value through machine learning, AI, other disciplines, Python, whatever, to the data, and then visualize the data. So visualize the data and enable that collaboration and workflow that is associated with it. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Jason to tell us a little bit about all the sources that we can link to. Jason, over to you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's going to be there right now. Yep.
Wow, perfect. All right. Well, thank you to you and to the entire team for letting me come and work with y'all today and present Aspen Enterprise Insights. And so what you see on the screen right here is that just what you've been hearing is that analytics bridges the knowledge gap between what we know and what we need to know. Taking your eyes from left to right on the screen, the workflow bridges the alignment gap between tasks and the executed tasks that need to be executed and tasks that we need to execute. So when we put all these together and you bridge the effects gap, you will see what we're trying to achieve and what we need to achieve. And so just like that, on the left-hand side of the screen, we're trying to let you know that, doesn't matter what type of software that you have, as long as we can create some type of data connector, we can get that flow of information and pull it into Aspen Enterprise Insights. And so you see with our motto in the bottom that it's analytics driving the workflow. We have to have the data and we have to have the information in order for us to create the right type of atmosphere for you to be successful within Aspen Enterprise Insights and then also at your site. So as Aspen Enterprise Insights is built in or created, we created it with the customer in mind. And so with that in mind, we want to say that, Aspen Enterprise Insights is agnostic. We continue to work in conjunction with Microsoft Power BI, with Tableau, with Spotfire. They all do a great job with visualization and different components, where Aspen Enterprise Insights brings the operational value of having the collaborative workflows at a single site all the way up to the enterprise. And that's what we're trying to get across right here, is that you can use any of these third-party vendors in conjunction with Aspen Enterprise Insights. So as Aspen Enterprise Insights has the analytical tools that brings the added value to your daily work environment, we separate ourselves from our competitors by the right side of the screen with the execution management, where we talk about the distribution, we talk about the action that needs to be taken, the notifications to let others in your site know what needs to be done, what tasks need to be completed in order for the workflow to be completed. And then just what I mentioned with the distribution. With Aspen Enterprise Insights, you could build what we call these communities within the product, so that think of them as little email groups where you don't have to put every single person's name when you're typing an email. You could just put BluESP and it gets sent to every single person within BluESP. So you could start doing the exact same thing within Aspen Enterprise Insights. And one of the benefits of that is that we allow the customer to get the information to the right people at the right time. So what you're looking at right here is the classic S-curve chart. With our built-in analytics, this will help facilitate the right people to provide the right corrective action. So deep learning to forecast project outcome and provide recovery assessments. And this is one of the tools that's already built into Aspen Enterprise Insights. You don't have to buy any, you don't have to have any type of add-on software. It's already there. We have the analytics and the machine learning within Aspen Enterprise Insights. So if I could just take your eye from the left of the screen, we're going to go right across the bottom of the slide. So with Aspen Enterprise Insights, we aggregate data across different data sets. We use analysis to understand the data and to help users understand the information with strong visualizations based on their role for the user. So you can see the information relevant to not just your role, but to how you can make better decisions. It then leverages that information to enable collaboration across various functions in the enterprise or the site level or at the site level to drive a streamlined workflow, to drive changes that are required for the business. And so when you see the diamond that's glowing right in the middle, that's where our competitors stop. They don't do all the capabilities to the right, where we talk about the collaboration, we talk about the workflow, and we talk about the change management. Aspen Enterprise Insights does those capabilities. These are the things that allow you to execute and to execute improvements and change the business for the better. And nobody else does this currently in the market. So what are we trying to show right here? We're trying to show, there we go, sorry, that we're ensuring one version of the truth that underpins all your decisions, all the right data at the right time to make strategic decisions. These screenshots are customized dashboards that you can create. If you have certain KPIs that are at the site level, that your operations needs to know on a daily basis, we can create that. And then for the management level, they don't need to know the details. They want to have an executive management level type of dashboard, and that's what the first one is on your going left to right on your screen, is that you can create those executive level dashboards, or you could get down into the operational detail KPIs. we want to make sure that whatever type of report that you need, we can combine it with the operational excellence from AspenTech. We could pull in the visualizations from Power BI. We could pull in the data from OSI Soft. Wherever you have the data, we can pull it into Aspen Enterprise Insights and provide this rich content for you. And so I just wanted to go over a couple of things with that are built into Aspen Enterprise Insights. So the very first one that we have is around capital projects. You know, this template that's within the product, it helps to, we're trying to aggregate all the information to make sure that the projects are running smoothly and that the right people are able to see the information to make sure that everything is on schedule. The second one is around our critical asset monitoring. You know, what this is really doing is helping to minimize the amount of downtime at the sites so that you can see these type of capabilities that you create in real time. Around energy and sustainability, we're trying to make sure that we automate the KPIs so that you don't have to go into multiple reports and try to understand what's happening at your facility. We can bring everything into one dashboard. Around operational agility, this is really around HSC. We're trying to keep, you know, all of our sites safe. We want safe and productive. We're once again, we're pulling together all the information, all the sensors, all the data that is happening at your sites, and we're able to pull this into one dashboard that could be shared not just within one site, but across multiple sites or across the entire enterprise. And around global decision support, you know, this is really around how we do or how we operate at the site. If you create a workflow which allows a person to increase production, we can take that same workflow and then share it to multiple sites so that have similar operations. And the benefit of doing that is that we're sharing our tribal knowledge. If we learn something at one site, we get to share how we can improve upon that, how we can improve upon that across the entire enterprise. And then around alarm analytics, you know, when you're sitting inside a control room and you're looking at all these blinking lights, or if you're looking at alarms that are just going off, you start to get alarm fatigue. You start discounting a couple of these alarms. Well, we can prioritize these alarms to let you know why is this alarm going off, and then how can we remedy it. And then on top of that, we get to prioritize each one as well. And so we have much more of this that I'll get into later on in today's presentation. But with that, I'll pass it back.
Good. So thanks, Jason. Thanks for sharing that. So yeah, you know, I think we need to go look a little bit at the live system as well. So I'm going to show you some live. I don't know why they gave me the live demo, but yeah, let's go for that. So Jason shared quite a lot there. Now, if you have a classic mining facility, you might have multiple workspaces. So, you know, maybe a mining workspace, or maybe a main treatment plant workspace, or, you know, you could have energy management or water balancing management or maintenance workshop. So you have, and each one of these workspaces have specific views. They want to look at either financial data or project data or progress data or production data or safety or whatever. So each one of them have their own views. And then each, you know, workspace probably have sets of communities as well. So you might have miners, foremen and shift boss only look at the mining workspace, but then you could have managers that wants to look at, you know, the pages in multiple workspaces. And, you know, so really, you know, that is one of the, you know, the strengths of Aspen Enterprise Insights, because you can now easily define that and basically pull it up from your master data set. So you would classically have things like this. So you have, you firstly you'd visualize, and I'll show you this right now. So you'll have like either a site overview or a plant overview of a specific area, and then we'd have production and production overviews and production monitors. And I'll show you how easy it is to navigate through this and get a view. So really, so you want to visualize it at a high level. And then you want to basically enable the right work groups with the right information to be able to, make the right decision. So you might want to do shift management or energy management. You could have a team that just focus on energy and CO2 emissions. So, they have a set of things that they look at. You have a safety and risk team that's working on another set of dashboards, but management can look at it all, or planning and scheduling, or all processing. So I just listed quite a few of these different scenarios. Maybe another set could, look at financial KPIs and see how that looks and how does it interface, and or combine them in any way. So now, if we quickly go here, we're live right now, so we're in the view, and so I'm looking at a plant area. I can look at any specific area and quickly see, how am I going against, against target on that specific area. And navigate to another. So here I'm looking, at a set of data maybe for the specific area, and I can see, there's quite a lot of comments, So a person here made a comment with the data. So if there's a specific peak, I could go and I could say, what's happening here? So let me just look at that. And then so, guys, what went wrong here? What's going on? Let's go, for example, that put a comment. What has happened right now is a comment is associated with a data set. So anybody else that looks at that specific data set in future will see that comment, and I'll show you a bit later that I can straight away also kick a task or a workflow associated with that comment, so that a person can go and investigate, and we'll show a bit more. But you can see here, so you're interacting with data and you're communicating and you're asking questions, and maybe here at the bottom you can also see the type of views. Here, for example, let me just draw a bit bigger in this one. So here I'm looking, so this is my actual data, and then my analytics basically did a scenario of what the future prediction would be, so I'm showing the actual and the prediction on dashboards. Or here, another type view, so financial, or whatever, maybe a spider plot or a radar plot of data. So all various types of things. Another type view is, I'm looking at a production overview. So what's my cost? What's my stock? What's my capital rates? Safety, health. I want to do more of a GIS type view. So let's zoom in and quickly. Okay, I can go further in. And so look at the tanks. Okay, that's interesting. So, but in which areas it's? So maybe zoom out. Okay. So all right, which country is this? Okay, maybe take it over to a map view. And I'm actually looking at England at the moment. So this is an area in England, and it just shows you how I can interact with data, because that's what you want to do at this level. You want to be able to interact very, very fast with KPIs, all over the place. For example, if I go to production overview, let me just take another view. So variable cost. So here I'm looking at, for example, another GIS type view. And select plant location. So let's select this specific facility here. The efficiency is 20%, the production KPI is 35, and the electricity usage is X amount of pounds. Or I can go into a Netherlands site or a Germany site. And so it just, again, it illustrates how you interact with data, because that's really what I would like to do when I'm interacting with data. And we'll show you some more of that. Maybe just another one quickly, just on the same scale, because we're going to show you a few of them. But here, for example, is another one that I just wanted to share quickly. If I can just find it here, it is. Shipping live. So for example, here you've got a lot of moving trucks, or in this case, they offloading and loading, into a big tank farm. So if I go to a specific, vessel, so because there's vessels that comes and do things, maybe take another one, understand, okay, so what is that doing? That's the vessel. If I want to see what the detail, I go into that database of all the information associated with that vessel. I can go look at that. And again, I can zoom in and zoom out and see, what is happening in that whole region. So linking with third-party technology, it might be an OEM, so a mining OEM or whatever, and he's also feeding you information through, and you have access to that. You can basically access the data and get information about that. So really, that's the type of views that and interaction that people would like to have on the data. So if I go back to the presentation, and I'll show some more live screens very soon. So yeah, so I've basically showed you the ability to go, have a GIS view, have a variable cost view, maybe look at live equipment and tracking it where it is and how it's going on the specific site. So you want to have those. But then also, like track, and we'll share a little bit more about this right now. So, how do I track batching information or weighbridge tracking or whatever, and interact with the data, drill up and drill down. We'll have a look at this live very, very soon, and also visualizing, oh, in that day I had, it arrived then and it was okay, and then it left at that stage. So you want to have quite a rich widget set of tools to link to all these various data sources that you have. So if I go, for example, here, and I'm going to go live again right now. So here I'm looking at an industrial plant facility, and I'm interacting with the data. So let me quickly go live. I tap over and I'm in the live area. So let's look at a plant overview. So various navigation tools that you can have. So here I'm looking at a specific plant area. Okay, so what is that plant? Oh, okay, so let me just zoom. Oh, it's a big tank farm. Just an example. Let me zoom in again on the KPI. So on this specific plant area, I can look. Okay, so the electricity usage, the variable, the fixed cost is this, the steam, the LP stream, the potable water. All the key KPIs are basically indicated here. I have quickly a view on that specific thing. I've got some trend information. Oh, I see there is basically a spike that happened there, so, or a decline. So, so if I, for example, go into that spike, I can maybe just, go into that area, select that set of data, what's happening here, create the event, or maybe like, oh no, I want an investigation. So I'll go, okay, so please investigate, please. Investigate. I'm not going to type it out. Action. Check. Hi. I'm going to go check. Hi here. I want this check to be done. I want it really to start by Monday next week. Urgency, medium level of urgency, importance. Okay, also medium level. I can basically say when it must be done. Its category. This is like a production related topic assigned to one of my team members in my community. So I have one here, so Ruan is one of my team members in my production team. It's assigned to him. It's visible to, that specific team. So which is my workflow. So I'm going to go to the BluESP team because that is the mining team, BluESP. That's the mining specific workflow area, and you can have it as drop down, or you can have it like this. Create the action, and boom, there the action basically went, and it's being executed. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask Jason to share again, and just explain to us, how do we handle the workflow. So Jason, over to you quickly. We can see your screen.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yep, you were just on mute, but we can see it 100%.
Yeah. Perfect, great. All right, so what we're seeing here is not a seamless workflow. So what we're looking at right here is that, this is the workflow of what usually happens, and keep this in mind, is that this is a generic example, but this is what I find to be the most common, is that when we are at a site, at a facility, we're walking around, we're identifying a issue, and from when we identify an issue, we have to go back to the office, and from there we have to log on to our SAP or any software that we're using to track this information, and then from there we have to create a notification to let people know that something's happening. And from there, we have to go through a gatekeeper and to make sure that everything is in line, that we checked all the boxes, that we've notified the right people. And so then we give it down to the line manager. Then they have to print the notification. Then they have to distribute the work. and then they have to complete the task. And then from there, you have to go all the way back to the office and then log on to the same system and to make sure that it's complete. Well, what we're trying to do with Aspen Enterprise Insights is eliminate delays. We want to strengthen the control and increase increase the feedback, and then control and close all the loops. And so that's what we're doing. We are able to streamline this entire process because we don't have, Aspen Enterprise Insights is a SaaS-based product, meaning we can work from anywhere. We can have this on our mobile devices. We don't have to be linked to the desk. So we can have these iPads or Surfaces or whatever you need, whatever you have as a mobile device, and we can document everything right then and there. So like I said, Aspen Enterprise Insights, we're trying to eliminate the delays and strengthen the controls and then close the feedback loops. And so, and while I'm talking about sharing experience, we're trying to do that with the best practice across multiple processes and sites while using third-party vendors. We will be aggregating all the data from multiple sites or production units. And so that's really what we're trying to show right here, is that no matter where you're trying to get this information or insert this information, it still gets pulled into Aspen Enterprise Insights, and then we can still create those good visualizations, but we can also make we can streamline the workflow and the collaboration, which is the secret sauce for Aspen Enterprise Insights. And what I want to address on this slide is around our mobile and how our mobile and our analytics, how they provide real-time visibility with rich media updates and control during execution. Having plant mobility and the IIoT technology that's deployed to improve quality and the frequency of decision-making, that's powerful right there. That's game-changing software that can only enhance your company. Aspen Enterprise Insights has the capabilities to execute, to manage, and to audit cross-enterprise workflows to ensure visibility, accountability, efficiency, and data quality. And all this is done through rich media updates as well, that you can see in the middle of the screen. By taking videos, taking photos, uploading that into Aspen Enterprise Insights, so that in this new volatile environment, you're not going to have people at the site at the same time. You might have shift workers, and so when the new shift manager comes on during his time, the transition is smooth. He doesn't have to sit there and talk to a person. He can read all the notes inside Aspen Enterprise Insights. He can document, he can see all the pictures of what happened or what needs to happen during his shift time. And then when we talk about project workflow, you can't deal with situations you don't know about. And that's why Aspen Enterprise, and that's why we have Aspen Enterprise Insights. We offer an early view of risks and issues that affect performance, and we support it by using analytics and AI. So our software gives users the data and the tools to see trends and educate themselves around certain patterns and predict. And our analytics helps predict outcomes to make sure that your project is still going seamlessly, and if not, we can bring those issues up to the right people. Yeah. And with that, I'll hand it back.
So great. So what Jason showed there is, like, I could, for example, work at a workflow screen, look at it, drill down, see the detail associated with that workflow, pull down menus, select, listen where I am, or drill down further. And I'll show some more of that, but just as an example. So really, we've been focusing very much operationally, and I just want to pivot for a moment over to the projects as well, because when I'm in an industrial facility, we either basically running operations. So I'm trying to, run maintenance better, or or energy better, or in all of that. But also there might be projects, there might be recommissioning. There's new areas that's basically been coming. So you also need to be able to collaborate very, very cleanly with your project team. So when you have project teams, you have to pull from various project-related data sources. So you have various stakeholders like your cost and your safety and your fabrication, and where is that? But you also have project management KPIs. So okay, where are we? Are we behind or ahead of schedule? And you have EPCs maybe coming in, or system integrators working on site. So you want to be able to also feed them with information. These teams has to collaborate very effectively with each other. Otherwise, you don't get really the value, because it's all about the collaboration. And there's various teams that's maybe commissioning or installing things, and so do they know where it is? So really, what you need is views, like for example here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of this live right now. But here you have like multiple projects that is identified, and straight away I have a high-level dashboard and say, oh, my cost is under control or it's not. My progress, I'm on project, and little dashboards, little icons that says to me, listen, is my buying, is my cost, is my scheduling, where is it? And and as soon as I see yellow or red, you don't want to work greens. You want to basically focus on red areas and identify what is causing the hassles in the specific area. So and I'm going to show this live right now. So here I'm, for example, drilling down into a specific area, I can see it, I can click on it, and I can look at a specific work module, see how it's going, look at the Gantt chart, of that, so either pulled from a Primavera or from an MS project, whatever. That's the type of visualization that you also need to basically be quite effective in it. And what I'll show you also is, for example, so not only project related stuff, but you might have safety or, non-conformance related stuff. So again, here is a view of, listen, oh, I'm like looking at my risk log, and is it a quality or a safety, health and environmental risk? If I click on it, populate the fields, and so forth. So let me just quickly go live, show a little bit of that, and then carry on with this. So here, for example, what I'm showing is just you get an idea of like, for example, so multiple projects running, and description, and I can see the progress of the HAZOP study, the equipment maintenance status, the material arrival. You just a high level dashboard. Another view of looking at the same is, you want to look at the trend. So, oh, I've got an upward or a downward trend in this specific area. So what's happening here? So you want to have these type views and be able to link data. Now, how do I feed the data? So I might go to various teams and say, listen, okay, so team members in that specific project, you need to basically populate and tell me, if I cannot automatically upload the information, then you need to select where we are on that specific things, where we against plan, how we against views, and then so this is the information that feeds the dashboards. And if I'm then basically looking at a dashboard, oh, then here I'm looking at a specific project dashboard, and oh, this project, everything is green, so this is all looking fine, it's under control. Maybe if I look at another one, sorry, wrong side there, but if I go, for example, and look at this one here, maybe it's another scenario. So you really want, again, a rich set of widgets to basically bring various data from various sources together. It could be Excel uploads, it could be from MS projects, from various sources, or from manual entry, and you want to enable the people to have that data and select and show only the right data to the right people. Another one is like, for example, project cost analysis, and what cost is out of track, what is not working, or I showed you the schedule. So being able to go in a specific area and look at a specific schedule associated with it, and are we behind? So dotted line means that, oh, I've actually gone behind, and these are the type of visualization. So doesn't matter which your role or your functional area are, we can make relevant information available to you. Maybe a module status overview, like I shared before, or a detailed status. So and you get all these different type views. For example, here I'm busy with a process plant area, and I may be constructing or commissioning it. So here is all the schedule differences between times and where I should be, the engineering related topic, HAZOP related topics, procurement related topics, and it is when you are able to do this that you can really bring a lot of value to the operations and basically give those benefits that I spoke before. I just quickly touched on NCR, so non-conformance report, and I'm in a non-conformance report, and I can see, I've got some issues here. So, and what is my status? Has it been closed? I can, quickly create a new one and have a view, associated with it, or maybe risk-related topics as well. Look at risk, maybe, is there maybe a report on the risk? So, I've got a few risk-related issues here, a fire safety issue or a behavior issue, and so quickly run a dial and say, I've got so it looks like scheduling. So schedule pressure is my biggest risk here. So schedule pressure, I've got a lot of them. Purple one, and then second biggest one is safety, health, and environment. Is the biggest one. And so it's that richness that you're basically looking for to be able to navigate through the data and visually display very, very quickly. And Jason will show us shortly on how quickly it is to basically be able to show this type of information to the audience. So I covered that NCRs, and so there's a lot of these templates that's available in the tool, and really what we say, a lot of it comes off the shelf and you need to just feed it with data. Jason will give us a more detail on this when he goes through the architectural part of it. But yeah, so like maybe just from my side, it's like you have this performance management sheet, so you can either, Jason mentioned it before, alarm management or shift management lock, or you could have safety checks and incident reports, and there is templates and examples of all of that. And so we can say, if you want to do that, you can use this or this. What do you want to do? And if you, for example, we're looking at asset performance, say for example, so we're coming from the bottom, we link to the PLC and the SCADA, so we'll pull up the data from historians and cybersecurity and visualize that. Take it one level higher and go to descriptive analytics, and so use the whatever is in the MES system, in the metal accounting or the inventory management, and dashboard that. Go one level higher and start going to the diagnostics and look at what is the delay accounting, what's my downtime systems telling me, what's my OEE telling me, and what can I do to do that. So you've got some system measuring it, but I want to visualize it. And if you don't have a system, then some of that algorithms, Ruan will show you how you calculate it in the system. Go further up, some of the site have some of the, like for example, Intel from AspenTech installed. It will predict a value for you from a pattern 6 weeks in ahead. So what do I do with that? Well, I want to feed it to the right people, and that's what we're doing here. Or and you can carry on like that. Do some prescriptive analytics. For example, in the Aspen suite you have GDOT, which helps you to orchestrate various plants against each other. And so it's like a high level control that if one plant is way ahead or cannot produce at the right rate, it will cut that plant back and push another plant up. So you could really orchestrate it to quite another level. So I think with that, back to you, Jason, to just give us a bit of an insight on how hard is it to install this, and does it take many days or or weeks or months?
Man, that is such a good lead. That is perfect. So yes, our product, Aspen Enterprise Insights, it's SaaS-based. And so there's not a lot of learning that needs to be done. We just talked about templates. We have built into the product, we have a lot of information on how you can start creating and using these templates. And so as long as we're bringing in data, and so as you can see on the screen, we're pulling in data from Primavera, from Excel spreadsheets, from SAP. We're pulling all that information into our user interface, and then we're able to onboard and launch your product, your visualizations, your workflows, your projects fast. The time to value is so great right here because of the deployment options. Because what would usually have taken you days, if not weeks, to upload all the information, to get it the way that you want it, we're doing it within hours. And so the time to value is very good for us and for you as the user. And so with that, I want to talk a little bit about our deployment options. So the information that is, or the data that you have can reside in the cloud. Aspen Enterprise Insights is a SaaS-based product. So we have two ways of deploying our models. It's a hybrid cloud deployment model. Hybrid cloud just means that there's parts of the solution that can exist in the cloud or parts of the solution that are on-premise. So for the on-premise portion, in this first deployment model that you're seeing on your screen, we have a product that's called Aspen Go. This component is how you can pull data from any type of data source. It takes that information and then makes sense of it, and then shares the important and relevant pieces of data with Aspen Enterprise with the cloud, and then also with our bridge. And so we're able to pull this information into our applications and then push it to the cloud. So for the second piece of this, this is the second model. The information never leaves the data center. That the customers, so you have all your information stored right here in your warehouse or at your site. And so it's your information, it stays at your data center. The difference between this one and this first deployment is that those relevant pieces of information that's going up to the cloud, they go to the Aspen Enterprise Insights server. And that's where the information is just stored. So it's still a hybrid environment. The difference is that your data never leaves the customer data center of your choice. We don't have access to the information. We don't get the information. We don't store the information. We don't get anything. All of the visualization is accessing the data that stays in your environment. So there are parts of Aspen Enterprise Insights that always stay in the cloud, like the notifications, the communities that you built that I talked about earlier, or the workflows that you created, or the tasks that are being assigned, or the analytics that you've built to run in the background. All that information, those types of information can be shared as well so that you can make a decision across the entire enterprise, not just by individuals. So by making those type of decisions together around the collaboration is the key value. And none of the private IP that you are concerned about leaving the data center never goes into the cloud. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you get what you want and that you feel comfortable with deploying Aspen Enterprise Insights. We offer a range of models, depending on how you want the interaction to be. If you want the interaction to be mostly done by us at AspenTech, we could do that. Or if you want to run most of the capabilities yourself, you could do that as well. We just want to make sure that you get familiar with it, that you feel comfortable with it, and to let you know that we're here to help you in case if you need any more learning. So to help you get started utilizing Aspen Enterprise Insights, we offer these built-in, ready-to-go templates within the product. You saw a list of this earlier in the presentation. Just wanted to bring it back up and let everybody know that these are the ones that are just easy to use. We have multiple modules on how you can implement them and how you pull data in. And so we have a variety of wiki pages that you can look at to understand how to do it. And so, like I said, is that these projects that you're doing now won't take days or weeks. They'll start taking hours. The two lists that you see are for the projects and for operations. These allow you, the user, to maximize the time and the time to value with Aspen Enterprise Insights right away. I won't go through all these, but in the comment section, or if what I suggest is, if you're interested in learning more about it, ping BluESP, and so that they can set up time with you to really go through what we have from a template standpoint, but also from a solution standpoint. The more that we understand what are your pain points, the better we can pull together a recipe to solve those issues. And finally, our customer, you know your business better than anybody. We have customers who want to build their own applications on top of Aspen Enterprise Insights, and we encourage it. Aspen Enterprise Insights is a product that can be built around you, the customer, and that's what I was referring to, is that tell us your pain points so that we can prescribe what needs to be done and help you out, so that you can start maximizing your time, not around reports, not about building dashboards, but around getting down to increasing productivity at your site.
Thanks, Jason. Like, Ruan, give us quickly just a taster of how does it look underneath the bonnet when I'm linking to data and engineering, and just a quick minute view just to show us how that looks, because it looks quite easy, but so is it really that easy? So over to you, Ruan.
Thank you, Valuel. So to give context, I'm first going to explain what a widget is. So this blocks of information that you are seeing on your page is what we call widgets. So these widgets are basically windows that display your transformed data into formatted visualizations, such as KPI indicators, graphs, tables, geographical maps, like Vilhelm showed you, and a lot of other graphics. So each of these widgets have what we call a pipeline connected to it, which basically represents the process through what manipulations and analytics your data goes through before to be transformed into the information that you're currently seeing on the page. I'm going to show you now a conceptual view of these pipelines that I just mentioned, so that you have a good understanding of the power behind Aspen Enterprise Insights and the strong focus and emphasis on enabling a person to rapidly build and deploy meaningful dashboards through a non-coding approach and user self-service. So on my screen now, you can see a simple pipeline or data flow. So moving your attention from the left to the right of the data flow, you can see how the data is acquired, manipulated and transformed, and then displayed. So for the purpose of explaining, I'm going to use this data flow as an example. This first object represents the data source from where data is being pulled from. This can be, for example, your AspenTech data, IP21 data historian, or any other data historian. It can be your SQL databases, your OPC UAs. We do support an extensive list of locations where you can pull your data from. And these objects here in the middle basically represents the manipulations and analytics that are being applied to your data. For example, here you can see your data being cleaned and filtered, or your data being pivoted, and your calculations or analytics being applied to this clean data. And this can range from anomaly detection, flatlining, detecting consecutive points, etc. And then after all this is all done, your transformed data will go to this object, which is basically the widget. And as mentioned, these widgets can be your KPIs, or in this case, this is graphs, your tables, KPI indicators, and like I mentioned, also the geographical maps. So just scrolling down on the screen, I want you to see how many widgets and data sources are being used to build the information being shown on your on the pages. And what this means is, or what I'm trying to show is, all these widgets and information can be deployed to one page, for example, which means you have information coming from many locations, and this can be aggregated and viewed at one location on one page. I also just want to add that these pipelines are the fundamental component behind Aspen Insights that powers a lot of the features that we've showed you. For example, this will also power your workflow, which ensures that work gets done by the right people wherever they are, and it enables the workflow to bring all the actions together in one place with progress updates, related files and things, and actions from other systems can also be included. This will also allow workflows to trigger this will allow workflows to be triggered in response to changing plant or project conditions to automatically initiate investigation or remedial actions without delay. And that's all from my side. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me or to ask a question. Thank you very much, Daryl.
Thanks, Ruan. That's great. And you know, I think what is the most amazing part there is the ability to visualize data flow, like the data pipeline in a pipe, because you have data from multiple sources and you're doing transformation and aggregation and analytics on it. If I could visualize it, because if I'm on a site and I'm just a production engineer or a process guy or a metallurgist or a project manager, I don't have a data science degree behind me. I just want to get to the data and view the data and manipulate it fast, and that's where that type of view is quite amazing. So I think we're running out of time quite fast. Daryl, I'm going to hand over to you and just cover quickly questions for us.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Please, if you have any last-minute questions, please type them into the comment section. A couple of questions have come through. The one is, I don't have an historian. Will this work with spreadsheets only?
Yeah, hi, this is Jason. Yes, utilizing one of the applications that we have within Aspen Enterprise Insights is called Aspen Go. So now you can take those spreadsheets, you can upload them directly, just like how you would upload any pictures to Facebook, to Instagram. It's just that simple. You click the upload button, it gets pulled into Aspen Enterprise Insights, and then you can start manipulating that data to create your dashboard as well. And now one of the great things about that is that all those presentations that you need to show your management or the executive level peers, you can then push down those widgets, those dashboards, those KPIs back into your PowerPoint presentations. And then those can automatically be updated every week, every day, and it automatically updates in the background. So whenever you open up your PowerPoint presentation, you'll be able to have the latest and greatest information of your dashboards or KPIs that you've created. Okay, so that's very powerful. That's very powerful, and that helps the accelerate the time to value as well.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. And another question coming through is, you've shown a whole bunch of widgets and templates that come standard, but can I create my own templates, and also can I create my own widgets?
Yes, absolutely. Just Ruan was showing us earlier how you can create the data and how you pull it in through pipelines. And so as you pull it in through pipelines, you're able to manipulate it. And then from that, you can just pick and choose which templates that you want to use, and it automatically, all the information gets automatically pushed into those templates. And so, but if you're more advanced and you might have some, data scientists on your team or at your company, they want to get into more of the creating their own, which we have plenty of information, documents, videos, wiki pages on how you can create your own type of templates as well.
Okay, perfect. And another one coming through, are you agnostic to different cloud platforms, or does this have to run on a particular platform?
No, we are agnostic. We can run on AWS, We can run on Azure. We can, it's a cloud-based software, so we can really run on any type of platform that you're currently using.
Okay, and then here's one that cuts right to the point. What's the difference between this product and other similar tools on those products on the market?
I would say that, it's just not the collaboration. So if you go back to the very beginning of our presentation, when I talked about, everything to the right side of the diamond, that was the collaboration, the workflow, the change management. That's where our secret sauce is that we can help out with the workflows. And more importantly, all these new software companies that are popping up right now, they're just software companies. We take the best of Aspen Enterprise Insights, our knowledge of the operational technology, the performance, the engineering, the capital projects, the mining. We take all that information that we've been around for 40 plus years. We know the space. And then you add on top of it this new dynamic software, Aspen Enterprise Insights, and we combine it with what we currently know. That's really where we are head and shoulders above our competition. They don't have that operational experience as much as we do. So we know how to run sites. We've been doing it for 40 plus years, and we help out with the collaboration and the workflow aspect.
Okay, thank you. We're overrunning slightly, so I think we'll end the Q&A session there. Please, if anyone has more questions, reach out to us, let us know. We're happy to discuss this with you again. And then I think Wilhelm, you want to do a quick closing?
Yep. Yeah, no, thanks. That was a fire hose of information that we basically shared with you, and so you'll be glad to know that this event is recorded, so you can refer back to it, and like certainly this one, at the speed that we went through that, you might want to watch the recording a few times and just scan up and down. You can share it with other people as well. So just share the link, or basically just go to the website where you're registered for all these events, and you can access it there. Then like all the previous events, so this was our 7th event, so we've had for the last month and a bit, we've had these events on various topics, so you can also access all of them at that specific area, and look out for the ones that's coming. We're doing more on asset performance management. We're focusing more on higher level MES solutions. We're going to be focusing in the first week of August with the Simulation Engineering Technologies group with Jaco and the team on constraint simulation and digital twins and how that and what the value that brings to the mining and to the industrial sector as well. So quite a lot of exciting webinars still coming. We continue running training at the moment, even though it's lockdown, so not at the offices, but there's various virtual trainings that we still delivering, and also e-learning training. So either you can come onto a virtual training course with us, and do it with the instructor-led virtual training, or subscribe to an e-learning. And like I think it was text in the box as well, if there's anything specific that you would want more information on, text us, and we'll arrange one of our business consultants or one of our engineers to contact you, or maybe myself or whatever, Jason as well, have a discussion with you on your detailed requirements. So you'll get an email after this tomorrow morning, say, listen, thank you. If you want to interact more with us on this topic, want more information, please just reply back and we'll be there. With that, we want to thank you for the time that you spent with the audience, stayed with us, right? We haven't lost a lot of people. So great engagement. Thanks for the time. We know it's precious, and hope to see you next week, 2 o'clock at our next event. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.